from Yeri. Another one, but it's not the biggest combo on the side of Stockfish. It's not going to make too big of a difference. Those 2 FCs to 1 will likely cause them to win their first pick. Do you expect to see 4th seed, first pick, no bans? Gotta be very, very confident. But I mean, the performance from Sweden Sweep, not too far off. Do see a break from Eternum. But it looks like it's going to be Kemenchik to hold onto the full combo. As well as Fie doing a pretty good job. Just find a break right at the end, but Kemenchik as the lone FC going into the ending. Does he get it? And of course he does. That will be Stockfish winning their first point. And now we go into the first round of bans. So I imagine if you're Stockfish, you probably want to ban something like the Hard Rock 3, potentially. Just something that France could play really, really well. Or, you know, just some mechanics maps, maybe even the Fremont 3. Relatively comfortable mechanics map. But if you're Sweden Sweep, I think you want to ban stuff like things that Badoo can pop off of, things that the mechanics players can pop off on, things like DT2 notably. DT2 is pretty crazy. I think you really want to be afraid of something like Kemenchik and Yeri or Eternum on a map like that. Gotta definitely respect it. See what they go for. It is going to be Stockfish with the first ban. And considering raw aim was the strong suit of Sweden Sweep, and no Mode 1 has already been picked, Hard Rock 3 feels like the easy span. Not that Stockfish aren't going to be comfortable, but more so worried that Sweden Sweep is going to be really strong on it. Alternatively, maybe something like Hidden 4 was pretty close to the Hidden 1 in the last week's pool, and Sweden Sweep did pretty well on that. Hard to evaluate, just because obviously the quality is pretty different to the actual match itself, with how few players you can get on some of these maps. And it's going to be the free mod. The free mod 1 striked out. Yeah, it is. Interesting. I almost expected Stockfish to maybe go for that map, but it's a very interesting free mod just because it's very brutal hard rock, so you basically have to play it hidden. Sweden Sweep banning the DT2, very, very fair. I think that is probably their best ban. I think that's one of the hardest maps in the pool, and it also really, really favors Stockfish's tapping players. It's a very fair ban. Banned it pretty quickly, so they were clearly ready for it. They knew what they were going for. But the free mod 1 ban is pretty interesting. I thought, because it is a 1v1, expected to see Stockfish having a really, really good carry on a map like that, potentially. It is going to be Sweden Sweep picking the Hard Rock 2. So leaning into the Hard Rock mechanics. Played the Hard Rock 1 pretty well in qualies. I think this and also Hard Rock 3 is going to be something that they want to go in for sure. But you got to be afraid of what Stockfish is also going to be able to put up. They have some really fantastic Hard Rock players as well to match. But you always got to, in matchups like this, you got to just trust your strengths and hope you play to your ability. Let's see here. We have Lucrease coming in, Musty coming in. We're potentially just waiting for the other players. I think if all of the players were available, this is a flow aim, bit of a tapping heavy Hard Rock map, so I expect Eternum to come in. Probably, I think Eternum really good on Hard Rock. Lifeline as well. Suagi, I mean, they have several really solid mechanics players. Would likely be pretty good on this. Hard Rock 1 in the qualies was a bit of an aim-heavy map. This Hard Rock, more of flame focus, but I would say if you're just really good at Hard Rock mechanics, you're going to be pretty comfortable on this. I don't think the BPM itself is too restrictive. 188, so I think most players at this level will feel pretty good on this. Looks like we are going to see Eternum stepping in. As expected, Lucrease as well. Really strong Hard Rock, just consistency player. We have Musty and Fie, so this is Sweden Sweep's pick. Really want to win this one to make sure that they stay on even footing in this matchup. Getting into it. Slightly smaller than normal Hard Rock as well, CS 4.2 at base, which makes it 5.5 after Hard Rock. We do see a break from Musty and Eternum. Not going to matter too much, but it's not a very long map. It's a minute 34, and we see another break from Lucrease. Fie, the only one to hold. I mean, now Sweden Sweep with the combo advantage. It's not that long of a map as well, so those early breaks from Stockfish are going to matter quite a lot. BA holding this combo past the halfway point. Another break from Lucrease. It's just Eternum to try to 1v2 Sweden Sweep. But already 2/3 of the way into the map, there's not much to do. Musty and Fie do find a break though. And Eternum is still holding. A little over 100k score difference, I think. Oh, unfortunately Eternum does find a break. Lucrease as well, so I don't think they have enough combo to turn it around. Okay, finding a break. Lucrease as well, so many easy chain misses on a map like this. And looks like another solid pick for the French team, winning out by a little over 100k on the 2v2. And now, yeah, I mean, so far doing pretty well against a pretty high-seeded team. I think if they can keep this up, this match could be very interesting. But going into Stockfish's next pick, I imagine they lean into, as I mentioned before, either the tapping mechanics. They have DT3 still left open, which is a little bit interesting because it has some elements of dense aim in it as well. But yeah, they do go for it. Go for the DT3. 270 BPM, very speedy map. I do think Sweden Sweep is fine on, BPMs like we just saw in the Hard Rock 2, but 270 is a different beast. And I expect to see probably the same lineup we saw on No Mod 3 for Stockfish. So likely going to see Kamenchik, Eternum, and Yeri. Likely a similar one from the Sweden Sweep gang as well. But I do think this is going to be a lot more speed focused than Everything Will Freeze. Obviously going from 240 to 270 is a pretty big leap. But the interesting thing about this map isn't just the speed, it has a good amount of very missable aim. AR rate before DT, so 9.6 after. 9.6 270 is pretty dense, and some of the aim here lasts quite a while and comes at some uncomfortable angles. So I could definitely imagine, almost expect to see a really good tapping player just missing on one of these dense aim patterns. See if that happens. Another pretty short one as well, under 2 minutes. Similar to the Hard Rock 2. So early misses will count. So we're going to see Hifkill, Charlie, and Nessie on the side of Sweden Sweep, and Yeri, Eternum, Lucrease. So the one difference of the lineup compared to the No Mod 3 for Stockfish is going to be swapping out Kamenchik for Lucrease. It's interesting, maybe Kamenchik is not as comfortable on the density potentially, but he was the sole FC on No Mod 3, so more than capable on the tapping aspect. We are getting into it. Once again, early misses going to make a difference. No breaks in the intro though. Actually, we do see Lucrece find a drop, but matched by Nessie and Hifkill. So slight advantage to Stockfish out the gate. We have some time to recover though. Charlie still holding on. That combo is going to be crucial. Speed and Sweep wants a chance to get this breakpoint. Right now, Turnham and Yeri both looking super comfortable. Couldn't even read that Curses Smoke. With those recoveries from Nessie and Hifkill, and Lucrece finding a few more breaks, Speed and Sweep isn't too far behind if either Turnham or Yeri find a drop. There is a chance here. Charlie finding a miss though is going to be brutal. Biggest combo on the side of Sweden Sweep. Gone means it's going to be tough for them to do much here as the score leader just start flipping. You see Yeri find a break, but it's still a Turnham to hold. Nessie a little bit behind on the combo, but Hifkill with the recovery. There might be an opportunity here. Not much time left in the map, but if a Turnham finds a break, and Nessie and Hifkill keep going, and there it is! A Turnham finding a break. Nessie and Hifkill are still holding on. I think there's enough time that score lead is flying. All of the French players are holding on. Charlie finding a break, but look at that, the score lead has already flipped. As the dense ending had so much score. Nessie finding a break, but I just don't think there's any combo on the side of Stockfish, and there's their first break point of the match. Sweden Sweep winning on the double time 3. Some really solid scores as recoveries making all the difference. All of the players on the side of Stockfish finding breaks near the end. And now Sweden Sweep is up 3-1 going into the next pick, which I think some people might not have expected in this matchup, but clearly performing very well right now, managing to match Stockfish on their skill sets. And I'm wondering if you're Stockfish, you got to go for a different angle here. Probably want to lean out of the tapping mechanics after what happened on the double time 3. Probably maybe pick into Gimmick or a different skill set on their pick, but it is going to be Sweden Sweep. And if they can win this one, they're going to be up 4-1. Such a nice advantage. But as for what they pick, I think Hard Rock 3 is likely a good option, considering their Hard Rock 1 qualities. And I don't know if you want to necessarily pick into the ones, but they go for Fremont 3. Yep, this is a fair one as well. This is one of the more comfortable consistency maps. I think I mentioned that earlier. Relatively decent mix of aim and tapping. 180 BPM though. You got some pretty spaced flow aim here. I think is going to be the biggest challenge. The BPM isn't too high, but flow aim does get pretty high. CS 3.7, AR 9.3. So it's going to be reasonably challenging with both mods. Hidden flow aim will make this a lot harder. The smaller circles will make the flow aim parts a lot harder as well. So it's going to be the first map where we get to see how they want to spread out the mods. I think the rules for this one, you just need a hard rock and a hidden. As far as I'm aware, I think a hidden hard rock also counts. Is allowed, obviously. Eternum, I expect to see on the hard rock for sure. I think Eternum really strong hard rock flowing player. So probably going to be very comfortable on a map like this. You see Mbappe coming in. Mbappe might expect to see on the hard rock potentially. I think Mbappe as well, a really good hard rock flowing player. Fie and Musty coming in. Fie and Musty I think we saw on the hard rock too, which is also sort of flowing heavy. Musty probably takes hidden here, and then maybe Fie either goes no mod. I could even see Fie going comfort hard rock potentially, but probably something like Mbappe hard rock, Musty hidden, and Fie no mod. And then on the side of Stockfish, probably Eternum hard rock, And then for the remaining players, there's quite a few big names we have yet to see from the side of Stockfish. Obviously not sure if they just haven't been in those maps we've seen so far or aren't available, hard to tell. As far as hidden flow aim, obviously Badu, if he feels comfortable on the BPM, would be fantastic. Otherwise, I think there's a few well-rounded players who could play it. Lucrece, expect to see hidden or nomad, and Kemenchik as well coming in. Maybe Kemenchik on the hidden actually, and Lucrece on the nomad. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. I would say at a glance, this looked like one of the more comfortable maps in the pool, other than the flow aim div spikes. So you could definitely expect to see some higher scores. Obviously Mbappe is also known as Just Man, but I just love that username. It's such a fun name to say. It's one of the few name changes that I'm like, actually no, I prefer this one over the old one that people probably know him by. Looks like we are gonna see the mods as expected. It's actually perfectly overlapped. The hard rocks, no mods and hidden, all in a line. Easy to compare that way. We're going to see an early break from Eternum, and as well as Kemenchik, matched by Musty though. 2-1 out the intro. I do think these no-mod scores are going to be very, very important, because I do think the added difficulty of the mods will make this a lot harder to combo. You can see Eternum breaking again on the hard rock, Musty finding another break on the hidden. The flow aim is really, really accentuated by the modifiers. So far, Sweden sweep with a nice lead. Fortunately, Mbappe does find a break on the hard rock, and now it's just the no-mod FCs left. Musty finding a break, though, is going to give Stockfish a combo advantage now, as Kemenchik and Eternum are both doing pretty well on the recoveries. I think the main thing is going to be these big combos from Fie and Lucrece. However, Eternum and Kemenchik both finding a break. Those modded combos so hard to hold on to. Flips the lead back into Sweden sweep. Poppy finding a drop though as well, as the no-mod players hold strong. The recovery from Musty is going to give Sweden Sweep a slight advantage if they can hold on to it. But Fie, unfortunately, finding a break. That no-mod combo going right in the middle as well, the most unfortunate place to find a break. If Lucrece can hold on to his combo for a little bit longer. Oh, as I say that, he finds a break. I should have not spoken. My bad. It's now just Musty and Kemenchik on the hiddens, with the biggest recovery combos. Musty as well on 600 now. Only 100k score difference. With a third of the map left, I think there is enough time for Sweden Sweep to come back into this, assuming they can hold. And those hard rocks are brutal, as you can tell by the scoreline of those players. These hidden combos are scary to hold on to. Any of these flowing patterns could easily catch one of them out. The no mods and the hidden players doing pretty well. And if Sweden Sweep can just carry on to these recoveries, they're gonna take their point and be up 4-1. Musty with a massive recovery on the hidden. That's actually kind of an outscore after finding a few struggles early on. And especially with that break from Lucrece on the no-mod, I think that is going to be another point for Sweden Sweep. Yeah, I sense a little bit of shakiness from Fie, but carrying on those patterns. Kemenchik doing their best, but finding a break near to the end. and a really, really solid pick from Sweden Sweep. I think this is their biggest score differential yet on one of their picks. And I cannot believe how brutal this map looks on Hard Rock. I mean, a tournament, Mbappe, Justman, two very, very proficient Hard Rock flying players. But obviously showcase how hard it was. Luke Fries with the S rank, but that massive, massive recovery from Musty, as well as a great score from Fie, getting the point for Sweden Sweep. And now they're up 4-1 as the 13th seed going into the 4th seed. And that puts Stockfish in a pretty spicy place. They have to win a few breakpoints if they want to come back in this matchup. It's got to start with their next pick. Now they lost the last double time 3 pick. And I don't know if there is much tapping mechanics left anyway. I think the closest thing is maybe Free Mod 4. Or DT1 if you count the burst, but that's mostly an A map. So you likely want to pick into a different skill set. A decent amount of the players on the side of Stockfish, we have yet to see who would be good on things like reading. Now, stuff like Hidden One's still open, so if some of the reading players on Stockfish are available, notably I'm thinking about Badu, I think that's a good pick to go for. But depending on the availabilities, they can stick to the mechanics. And they go for DT1. So, yeah, fair pick. DT1, I think you put Kemenchik on this. Such a strong double-time mechanics player. I think will be super, super comfortable on a map like this. I would consider this just a very classic, standard type of DT1 mapping, 261 BPM, so on the higher end. You got a good mix of conventional aim, as well as some bursts, some triples. I think it's going to favor the mechanic solo strength of Stockfish the most. Obviously, being a DT1 means it is a 1v1. I do think that favors Stockfish. We'll have to see who Sweden Sweep wants to put on their team to face off against whoever Stockfish fields. But this is a very, very important point for Stockfish. If they lose this, Sweden Sweep goes 5-1 into their next pick and could potentially seal out the match. So it's up to Stockfish to have a really good performance on this one, but it just actually adds the pressure. Part of the element of 4v4s normally is the pressure is sort of diffused. You can kind of hope your other teammate's going to do well, but when it's a 1v1, it's all on you. And although this is a pretty comfortable skill set, the mechanics are really up there. I think this is the highest star rating map in the pool, 7.62 stars. You do see Kemenchik coming in as expected for the DT1 mechanics. Likely the most comfortable player on their team for something like this. I wonder who Sweden Sweep wants to put in. Decently short one as well. Actually, the entire DT pool is under 2 minutes, which I normally expect with DT makes songs faster, obviously. But it's going to be Nessie coming in for Sweden Sweep. We'll have to see if they are able to hold off Kemenchik, but I mean, it's such a scary player to fight on a map like this. I think there's few players in the game who are probably as comfortable on this skill set than Kemenchik right now. This is definitely something that is in Nessie's skill set. We'll see if their skill cap is up for the test here. As we wait for the players to get ready. Looks like we're already a little bit of a ways into the map. 150 combos on both players, relatively similar accuracies. Always good to see Hayak coming out the gate, because it can be pretty brutal to just jump in to a 10.3 like this. After playing a bunch of other non-similar maps. Both players ready. Kemenchik actually finding a big act drop. It's going to give Nessie the act advantage, but not the combo advantage, as Nessie finds a break, third into the map. And despite losing some act, as long as Kemenchik holds, they will get this. For how long can they do so? Probably the hardest raw mechanics happen in the pool. Both players finding a break on that pattern. However, the combo that Kemenchik got gives him a slight lead. The break there as well, the pressure. This is essentially started from the beginning now, with Kemenchik just having a slight lead, but Nessie can build up a combo and keep it longer than Kemenchik. There is a chance here. Finding another break, however, and Kemenchik as well. Such a difficult mechanics maps, and now it's going to be Kemenchik with the yak advantage as Nessie falls below 94. Kemenchik staying on that 95%, building up actually. Both players, I think Nessie breaking on that massive borderline cross-screen jump. Now with already about 100k score in the lead, as long as no disasters happen in this outro, Kemenchik should be able to secure this point. A much needed point for Stockfish. Keep them in this match. Does find a break, but Nessie on not enough combo to make that matter. Oh, that does the aim pattern at the end is pretty rough. But that is going to be the point for Stockfish. Kemenchik winning the 1v1 on the DT1, putting them up 2-4. And I do think as this pool thins out, it's going to be maybe scarier for Sweden Sweep potentially, depending on what players Stockfish have available. The fact that I haven't seen like Badu or Suagi or Lifeline makes me think that they're potentially just not there. So if that's the case, that definitely gives Sweden Sweep, with how they've been playing, a really, really good opportunity to take a underdog match win. But we're actually going into the second set of bans. I believe the second set of bans starts after the 6th map gets played. So when we see 3 picks from both teams, we get into the next set of bans. Stockfish likely just wanting to ban anything that they think Sweden Sweep will be able to put a good score on. My intuition kind of tells me they should ban Hard Rock 3. Because I do think that Sweden Sweep is going to be pretty good on the Hard Rock 3. They are thinking. Just realized I don't know if the hidden pool has even been explored at all. Either in bans or picks. So as this match gets longer, you expect to see somebody lean into that category. Really maxing out their timer here. There is also 30-second timeouts that each team can take. Potentially Stockfish using one just to think about what they want to go for in this next set of bans and picks. Other than Hard Rock 3, I mean, even Hard Rock 4, actually, I think they did pretty well in the 6.5. I do think they have pretty good 6.5 players on the team ready to play. Depending on if they have their reading players available or not, even Hidden 1 could be a good ban if they don't have any of their comfortable OER players here. Because I know France is usually a pretty good low AR countries that they likely have. I think notably Musty is going to be pretty comfortable on a map like that. They are pondering. Clearly not an easy decision for them to make. And it's going to be the Hard Rock 1v1, so the Hard Rock tech map. Very, very challenging map. I think we saw it get played yesterday. And I mean, even from players like Malashevsky getting under 500k, clearly shows just how challenging the map has to be. But with that Hard Rock banned, I mean, I think if you're Sweden Sweep, that clearly tells you that Hard Rock 3 is indeed a good option. And they instantly ban out the hidden one. I do think that is a map where if Badoo is there, that's just borderline an insta-loss. AR7, aim consistency, reading, there's not going to be many players in the game who could beat out Badoo on a map like that. So you gotta respect it. I think maybe if the map was 4 players, there is a world where it's more winnable for sure. But on a 1v1, it's tough. But Sweden Sweep up 4-2 here. If they just win their next 2 picks and don't lose a breakpoint, they will take this match. But can they do it? I still think Hard Rock 3 is probably the obvious choice. If they don't go for it, I'll be surprised. They go for the interesting. Okay, so this is actually kind of oh, excuse me, my throat's dying. This is kind of interesting. It's sort of similar to what I said. If the hidden one was 4v4, maybe they could win it. This is sort of putting that theory to the test because this Gem Mode 4 is AR8, pretty reading heavy, but not super complicated, not super tricky on the patterning. If you're pretty comfortable with low AR consistency, I think you're going to do pretty well on this map. But because it's a 4v4, that means it's going to obviously matter a lot more about the team score. So even if Stockfish has players like Badoo ready, who can probably assess this, it's not going to be enough if their backing players aren't as comfortable. And if I don't see Badoo in this lobby, that means 100% he's not here, but we'll find out. I do actually think this might be the first 4v4 we've seen in this match. I think all of the other 4 slots have been avoided so far. So this is the first time we're going to see the biggest team size available. We have Sweden Sweep already ready to go. Musty, Fie, Kalangi, and Mbappe. I think this is a very solid, just consistent low AR team. I think we're going to see a lot of good scores across the board. We'll see if Stockfish is ready to compete. We do see Badoo coming in, so he is there, which means the hidden one ban was 100% justified. Now, I think Luke Reese, as far as I'm aware, is pretty comfortable on AR8 hidden. Yeri and Kamenchik, I'm not as sure. I could be surprised either way. I think because of the accessibility of this map, they should be doing pretty well. But we'll see overall which team is the most comfortable. Quick panic to get those extra 2 players in. Getting into it, can't tell if that break from... that was Bancho. That miss from Mbappe, but I think that miss from Yeri was real. just based on the accuracy. Low AR is a skill set you can go, deep into the top 50 player rankings without really ever having to encounter much. It's always hard to know some of these players if they're as comfortable on this skill set. So far, it's just that break from Yeri, however, finding a pretty comfortable recovery at going up as he's adjusted to the intro. Unsurprisingly, it looks like it's going to be Badu with the highest accuracy. Not too far behind. Currently, it's just that break from Yeri. I actually do think the accuracies are making it close, despite that miss. That's going to be Musty with the first big important break, near the halfway point as well. That's going to flip the score lead over to Stockfish. Now the ball is in Stockfish's park. They can all keep these combos. They're going to take this one. However, there's the leaderboards being shown for the players. This is where nerves come in. I'll be surprised if at least one player, doesn't find a miss here because of that in the ending of this map. And depending on which team misses, it'll make the difference. Do you see a break from Fie, actually, I think? Be offset by the nerves in that break. And now the score lead is going to start flying over to Stockfish, as it is almost 4 FCs to 2, with not much recoveries as Musty and Fie find some breaks. Clearly, the low AR comfort of Stockfish is really good. Yeri does find a miss there as well, but still 3 FCs to 2. And with that, we're going to see Stockfish taking back the break point that they lost on double time 3. Now 3 to 4, and assuming they win their next pick, they will even out the scoreboard. And as I say that, I get the slight tinglings of a TB, which I would love to see in this matchup. Stockfish to pick. Now, I don't know if there's really much low AR you can go for. Yeah, considering the hidden one was banned, low AR is pretty much out of the pool at this point, outside of things like, hidden 4, which is AR9, and pretty tricky to read, especially with all the perfect stacks. But I mean, as the pool narrows down, lots of options here. I honestly think no mod 2, if you even have one player who is pretty good on that map, I think that might be enough to take that point, because that map is absolutely devastating to play. And because it is a 2v2, that solo carry performance will make the difference. So I wonder if Stockfish has anybody who can play that map. Otherwise, I mean, they did pretty good on the 6.5 in qualies. So Hard Rock 4 is an option. Pretty generic 6.5 map, not too much in it other than just pure precision. Since Badu is here, I mean, Nomad 2 looks like something they could play, but they go for the DT4. So this is an interesting one. It's not really a speed map. You have, it's a Kirby Mix map, obviously, so if you're familiar with Kirby Mix, you know the type of mapping style you're going to see. It's mostly dense aim control, I would say. AR 9.7 after double time, 330 BPM, which makes it pretty dense. And yeah, it's going to mostly test your flow aim control, some snappy aim on this density. It's going to be the main thing. I don't recall there really being any speed in this one, so a little bit of a departure from some of the DT we've been seeing earlier on. And considering the no mod 4 result, I think that gives the momentum to Stockfish to win this one as well. It's because there is an overlap of dense aim reading. However, the thing that differentiates this map is very short. I think it's like 600 combo, under a minute 30, which means it's very, very volatile, and with the Kirby Mix mapping style, it's very easy to break on any of those tricky patterns. So, score leads flipping, very, very possible here. Looks like we're going to see Eternum, Kamenchik, Lucrece, and Badu for Stockfish, Musty, Fie, Kalanki, and Mbappe for Sweden Sweep. I think those are almost the same players as the No Mode 4, other than Eternum coming in for Yeri. Eternum probably more comfortable on the AR 9.7. Getting into it. On a map like this, even breaks at, the 100 combo threshold is going to make a difference. You see Kalangi and Mbappe find some early breaks. Matched by Lucrece early on. And already poured into this map. Everybody holding on. Those early breaks from Sweden Sweep recovering. I do think the accuracies overall favor Sweden Sweep. It's going to be a break from Kamenchik. However, matched by Musty. It's now effectively 3-3, with just slight differences in the recoveries, but score lead still in favor of Sweden Sweep. It's Sweden Sweep holding on in the ending. There should be enough note density, but with that break from Eternum, we're going to need to see 2 breaks from Sweden Sweep for Stockfish to be able to find a break point. That's going to be breaks from everybody. Wait. But no, there's not enough notes. There's not enough notes. Badu holding on in the end. I think, other than a miss, potentially right at the beginning actually, but the accuracy really hurting the score. 92, not too comfortable on the axe side. And look at the accuracies from the French team, all above 97, with 94, 92 on Stockfish. Clearly super comfortable on that map, and I mean, that's a bit of a landmine for Stockfish to pick into, because that breakpoint they got back is now in the hands of Sweden Sweep, and they'll be up 5-3 going into their next pick. And if they win that one, it's going to be over for Stockfish. And as for what they go into, I mean, I think I've said Hard Rock 3 like a lot of times, but I still think it's a good option. Otherwise, Fremont 4 is an interesting one. Very classic map, AR9, BPM of 201, sort of dense consistency is the way I would describe it. But they are going to go for the 4v4 Hard Rock map, the 6.5 consistency. They did lose the 6.5 matchup in qualies, but notably this 6.5 is a lot more comfortable, a lot more conventional, which I think favors the strengths of Sweden Sweep. I think on a map like this, it's a pseudo Hard Rock 1, but with smaller circles than a normal Hard Rock 1, obviously. I think I could be feeling pretty good on this. And notably, I mean, if players like Suwagi aren't here, if players like Lifeline aren't ready to play, that's going to be a boost for Sweden Sweep as they look to close out this match. We've seen so far them win the Hard Rock 2. Hard Rock 1 was banned out against them. So the Hard Rock momentum is there in Sweden Sweep's favor. Looks like we're going to see Hifkill, Fie, Musty, and Mbappe. It's an unjust man for Sweden Sweep. And Yeri, Lucrease, Eternum, and Badu for Stockfish. Now it's all on the line for Stockfish. 4th seed, I think, with a lot of expectations coming into this tournament. Potentially could be upset here by a entirely French team. Be cool to see if they can manage it here. And on a 6.5, it's a nerve-wracking skill set to go into, under 2 minutes as well. Very, very volatile pick. Some of these Hard Rock players on the side of Stockfish could definitely put up a strong fight. Could be in anyone's hands. You gotta lock in and click on those precise 6.5 notes. You see some breaks from Eternum and Yeri. 1/4 into the map. Musty trading. But that's a slight lead to Sweden Sweep 3-2 on the combos. Some tricky patterns in this one as well, mixed in with the consistency. Halfway mark has been hit. If Sweden Sweep is able to keep onto these combos for a little bit longer, they might be able to do it. Finding a break is going to be huge. Eternum still in the recovery, but Lucrease is the only remaining FC. Fie does find a break, and so does Mbappe, so it's only Hifkill to match Lucrease. It's evened out on the combos, but it's still 200k score lead to Sweden Sweep with not much time left. I think Hifkill would need to break, and Lucrease would need to keep holding on for a reversal to happen, but Lucrease with the drop pretty much seals their fate. Hifkill finding a break as well, but I don't know if there's enough time to find the recovery here. Yeri as well, losing the only big combo left on the side of Stockfish, is likely going to do it, barring some catastrophic chain misses. I think we do see Sweden Sweep as the 13th seed, beating out 4th seed Stockfish 6-3 with a huge upset. Regardless of which players weren't available on the side of Stockfish, that's still a lot of really big names, a lot of top players here that the French team beat out. And you gotta respect that. Playing really, really well. I think this is a great performance for Sweden Sweep. I think they can be really, really proud of this one. And yeah, GG's. They will move on in the bracket. I think I'll try to quickly see who they're going to be up against. Yeah, well done. I think if you did a prediction of this match, I think not many people would have made that call. But there it is. The pure French team beating out very, very strong 4th seed Stockfish. But that is not the only matchup today. I think we're going to have a pretty decent gap. I want to say it's about 4 hours into the next match. Let's see here. Yep, so 17 UTC. We're going to get chipi, chapa versus Wait We're Goated. Those team names are awesome. And that will be commentated by Chillier and Doland. But yeah, what a great match it has been. And I've been Vorty, and I think that'll be it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.